Lyrics of the Lost. Hello, and welcome to this phantom realm of the lost, where the souls of underperforming lyricists float in purgatory, wailing and moaning in embarrassment as we drag their forgotten works into the light. Lyrics that fail to make sense either rationally or artistically. Lyrics that were hiding for so long behind a distracting and foot-tapping bubblegum pop melody, or hiding behind a lead singer that performed them so confidently that no listener dared look too closely or question them. I am the reaper of lost lyrics, destroyer of worlds. Look upon me and despair, for I am become death. Together with my dark apprentice,
Lovely.
Dave.
Hello, Dave. Welcome.
Hi, Pete. I'm happy to play a small part in rehabilitating these songs and bringing them back to the land of the living, or consigning them to the depths of hell, one or the other.
Yes. And yeah, I'm pretty sure Smooth FM is a sort of purgatory. Yeah. People can't wait to get out of there one way or the other.
And yet you're trapped in there for all eternity.
Yes, that's my workplace. Now, we don't like to mess around and waste listeners' time. So this is episode 11. Eyes down for a full house. Housey, legs 11. Two snakes standing on point. 11. The sign for equals, if it's fallen over. 11. The Twin Towers before 9/11. 11. Episode 11 is this. Open Your Heart to Me. Madonna, 1986. This is currently on pretty high rotation with the incessant Smooth FM music radio at work, and it's apparently Madonna's 5th biggest hit. Did you realise that, Dave?
I wouldn't have gone for 5th. Do you know what her biggest hit is?
It's probably Like a Prayer or Papa Don't Preach. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but this was like peak pointy boob era Madonna, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think certainly in the video clip she got the pointy boobs out, but not peak pointy boob, I don't think. I think that came later with Vogue or something.
Oh yeah, she just had pointy boob peaks.
She had a pointy booby bustier that she wears in the music video for this. Yes. So it was just a taste of things to come. Wikipedia notes that this was originally written for Cyndi Lauper by writers Gardner Cole and Peter Raffleson. But apparently it was never played for Cyndi for some reason. So that seems a waste. And at this time, it was titled Follow Your Heart. And it was only when Madonna bought and rewrote it that it became Open Your Heart. And I dare say, this is where the troubles begin. So, Dave, let's go to the lyrics.
Yes, I find this song quite troubling.
I do too. Yes, I hold the lock and you hold the key. My main gripe starts right here with the title and the chorus. Madonna, or Madge, as we like to call her in Australia. I was just reading that this name apparently started in Britain, where those cheeky press over there gave her the nickname. There's a report that she was quite irritated by the name until future husband Guy Ritchie told her, supposedly, that Madge was short for Her Majesty.
Wow.
Don't know if I believe that, but hey.
I'd like to propose we just call her Nah.
Call her what?
Nah. Just short for Madonna. Nah.
Madonna.
No. No, nah.
Or just Donna.
Nah. At the end. Madonna. Nah.
Oh, that nah.
Yeah, that
okay,
nah.
Not the
yeah.
not the ma at the front, but the nah at the end.
Nah. Not enough nicknames, just use the end of a name.
Okay.
Like you call me Dave, you could call me Id. I could call you
Tur.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bit too groundbreaking. I don't know if that's going to catch on.
Okay.
I think we'll go with Madge for now.
Fine.
Anyway, the lyrics. Madge is singing to a guy in this song that she loves and wants him to open his heart and love her back. But she can't open it for him because she holds the lock and he holds the key. And straight away, this is confusing. There's a lock on his heart that Madonna is holding. It's her lock, I suppose, then. So why has she put a lock on his heart if she wants him to open it? And if it's her lock, why did she give him the key so that she couldn't now open it? It's very strange, isn't it?
It's very confusing. Look, I assume this is meant to be some sort of sexual innuendo. You know, he's got a vaguely phallic object that he wants to insert into her receptacle.
Yes.
Another possibility, it could be a reference to Ghostbusters, where Madonna is the gatekeeper and she's singing to the keymaster.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes, Ghostbusters was about this time too.
Yeah. And I do find the song a lot more enjoyable if I imagine it being sung by Madonna in character as Sigourney Weaver possessed by Zool to a confused-looking Rick Moranis. Think of that when you listen to the song, and I think you'll enjoy it more.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, I'm remembering Zool now, who looked a little bit Madonna-like in her short hair and sort of slinky outfit at the end when she confronts the Ghostbusters. That was a bit of a Madonna look, I think, maybe even.
Well, maybe there was an influence there. But I agree with you that this is confusing and really it doesn't make any sense. So, you know, if I wanted to get into your house, I wouldn't turn up with a lock and ask you to put a key in it. So it'd make no sense to me at all.
Yeah. She's gone very Benny Hill. She's enjoying some sexual innuendos and she's worked hard to shoehorn them in, even if it's lost the logic to the song. Okay, so if there's a key, wink, wink, that's a penis, so he's holding that. And there's a lock, so that's my vagina, so I'm holding that. And she didn't stop to think about, why is my vagina on his heart? That's a bit mysterious.
Yeah, well, she wears a heart on her sleeve and a vagina on her heart.
Gosh. I mean, unless we're being really unfair to Madonna, it could be she's written this like the lock is a chastity belt over his heart. So Madge has installed the lock so he can't love anyone but her. But then he holds the key anyway, so that doesn't really work. Unless there's two keys and Madonna holds the other, and then maybe they both have to be turned at the same time, like when activating nuclear missiles. Maybe that.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know why she just didn't put a passcode or a swipe card or something for it.
Well, that's certainly a more modern way to do it, yeah.
Or perhaps a retina scan on his heart.
This was the 80s, though. That was a fair way away.
Yeah, but, you know, there was technology for metal pointy boobs. I'm sure we could have done maybe a boob scan print or something.
Yeah, well, she was pretty futuristic. I'm sure she could have seen this coming, yeah. Another possibility, it could be worse. Maybe the lock she's installed on his heart is actually booby-trapped with explosives. So although she's given him the key, she has to disarm the lock before he can safely open his heart, and he doesn't know that. If he tries to open his heart to some other girl other than Madonna, he'll blow them both to kingdom come. That makes sense. Madonna maybe is, in this song, a psychopath, tormenting this guy with an illusion of freedom, just like those the wardens of futuristic prisons in those movies where the prisons have no bars or doors, but the prisoners are forced to wear those explosive neck bands that are detonated if they try to escape. Like the Running Man with...
Oh, Running Man, yes. But if it's an exploding lock, she probably shouldn't be holding it.
That's true. Yes, I mean she held it maybe to install it, But no, yeah, no, I'm drawing a long bow there. She shouldn't be holding it. No, she'd blow her
Yeah.
hands off. Another thing I thought about was maybe Madonna is actually trying to protect this guy with it's a protective lock. He's previously had his heart stolen before, and that person was careless with his heart or broke his heart. So she's helping him keep it locked up until he's recovered and ready to love again. That might be a nice sort of loving and patient thing to do.
Are you suggesting a connection with Last Christmas, where he was giving away his heart too freely?
I hadn't thought of that.
So next Christmas, he's going to have to ask Madonna before he gives her heart away.
Yeah, I'm not too aware of any interactions between George Michael and Madonna. I wonder if they would have got on.
I'm sure they'd have been best friends. I mean, I don't know, maybe I watched too many Marvel movies, but I like to think of all these songs existing in the same universe.
Why not? They're all Avengers.
I mean, I guess they do exist in this universe in a way.
in a very literal way, they
in a very literal way, they do exist in the same universe.
That's comforting to know, isn't it? There's a whole Justice League of pop stars. They're all fighting. What are they fighting?
Each other, mostly.
Oh, well, there's a bit of that.
Yeah.
Maybe that's mostly invented by the paparazzi. The cheeky press.
Yeah. Did Madonna have an enemy? You know, you had the Beatles versus the Stones, Blur versus Oasis. Was there a anti-Madonna?
Oh. I don't know. I guess a close competitor would have been Cyndi Lauper herself. And around about this period, they had a similar look.
True.
They were both, solo artists, making bold new strides for women in the industry.
And Madonna ended up with Cyndi Lauper's leftover songs that she didn't even listen to.
Apparently so. Yes.
What does that say?
I think, I think both of them are probably happy to, like a lot of pop stars, I think most of them don't tend to write their own stuff. They just add their sort of signature to it in a way, but it's a very collaborative process, is what I'm seeing throughout our episodes. It's quite rare that someone's actually writing their own stuff. Although George Michael, yeah.
George doesn't even let other people play on his stuff.
That's right. He's very hands-on.
Yes.
And tells everybody hands off.
Exactly.
Yeah, if she is in a protective way helping him keep his heart locked up, it sounds like a nice and loving and patient thing to do. But we know she's not loving and patient because she keeps harassing and threatening him to open his heart. She says things like, "Don't try to run, I can keep up with you. Don't try to run, I can keep up with you. Nothing can stop me. You've got to open your heart to me. I'll make you love me. I'll make you love me," yes, etc. Horrifying. But then, this was the 80s, when sexual harassment was still seen as romance. And in so many movies, we'd be like, look at that guy repeatedly asking that girl out. He's so romantic that he won't take no for an answer. It's so beautiful, especially when it happens in the workplace. We just know he's going to wear her down in the end. He's a courting and a wooing her relentlessly. How we all wished we had a sex pest like that in our own lives. Someone to playfully cajole and gaslight us into a relationship we didn't want. Such an innocent time, as we often say, Dave.
I think in that sense, Madonna was groundbreaking as a female sex pest.
Yes, that's right. She's certainly indulging in the same, taking the male role and subverting things, I suppose, by being just as bad.
Yeah, she was a pioneer of.
Yeah, it's like, okay, before we achieve equality, I've got to be as bad as you are, and you've got to get your comeuppance and take a bit of sexual harassment. So I think that's what she's saying to all of male humanity there.
Yeah, it doesn't really make clear what she's actually going to do in order to force him to love her, though.
Yeah, it seems to be just a foregone conclusion that after the heart is open, she gives him the love,
You?
and that's it. Anyway, it's still weird that she holds the lock over his heart. I mean, how long can it keep beating with a heavy lock on it? Is this like Madonna holding a pillow over his face? Or is it like my older brother sitting on my chest and forcing my hands to hit my own face and then saying again and again, "Why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself?" And Madonna's on this guy's chest, holding the lock down over his heart and saying, "Open your heart, open your heart. What's the matter? Can't you open it? Something's stopping you." So that could be a thing.
And she's a bully.
She's a bully. Oh, such a bully. Or again, maybe "I hold the lock" is figurative speech. Madonna might just monitor the lock remotely from like a security station miles away, like other businesses often use. This guy might have his key like any business owner does, and Madonna sits there miles away with a bank of TV screens and phones, probably keeping track of any number of guys that she's installed locks on. And she can check the remote logs and see if her guy has opened his heart suspiciously outside of normal hours. Maybe an alarm sounds when that happens, and she can send a security car to sort of drive by the guy and check that no hanky-panky is going on. It could be he's just opened his heart while talking to his mother or a good friend, for instance.
I was just thinking, if that was the case, if he'd opened his heart quite innocently to somebody else whilst Madonna wasn't there, he would have to phone the security company and give them the access code. Otherwise, they would send Madonna around.
Yeah, in fact, the security company will usually phone up the office and try and speak to whoever it is. And if they don't answer, yeah, they'd inform Madonna, and Madonna would say, "Oh God, it's probably fine. Just let it go."
Yeah.
I think that's how, in my experience of working with businesses, it costs them like $50 if they wanted to send a security car to do a drive-by. So they just basically never do it.
He did say he was going to visit his mother, so I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah, you'd justify it in your mind, just so you didn't have to spend the $50 until you find out later that it's all gone wrong. And
he's opened his heart to Cyndi Lauper instead.
No, my God, no. Yes, yeah. I'm surprised. I mean, I haven't heard of any animosity between those two. I'm surprised that the media didn't invent it.
I feel like we're inventing it now.
Yeah. Is it a bit late, though? They can't really tear strips off each other now. You can have a go at Cyndi Lauper for her involvement in World Federation Wrestling, maybe. That might be a weak spot for her.
I'd forgotten all about that.
Yeah, her and Donald Trump, bizarrely, have this thing where they get into World Wrestling Federation stuff. But no, it's great that they both supported each other at this time. Sisters, have to stick together. It's fantastic.
They're doing it for themselves.
And we applaud them for themselves, that's right.
Yeah.
Thinking further outside the box, what if the metaphor is that Madonna represents this guy's unhealthy lifestyle? He's like a slob who only eats fried food, and Madonna, as the lock, is a fatty buildup in the guy's major arteries that is locking the blood out from freely flowing through his heart. And he holds the key, which is the ability to choose a healthy lifestyle and diet alternatives, thereby opening his heart again. And maybe Madonna is just drawing attention to the problem of heart disease in the USA, particularly.
It's possible. Yeah, it could be. Or further, she could be a cardiovascular surgeon.
Oh, and literally wanting him to open his heart. So
yeah, it's that the whole song is basically a consent form for surgery.
So she's like a surgeon, if I
Hey!
might quote Weird Al Yankovic. Yes. Uh, what if, another theory, what if it is his own lock that he has on his own heart, and maybe he wants to open it, but he's fumbling with his key to insert it, and then Madonna is supportively holding the lock to support it and helping to guide him in with his key. Sometimes when you're a bit off target with your key, some women folk are nice enough to hold the lock in a more receptive position and help guide your key into the lock to fully open your heart and achieve its full release. When I have unlocked my heart at times to a partner, especially the first few times, I try to maintain eye contact while I fumble with my key, prodding about to find the lock, because you don't want to look down at the lock and key and make the mechanics of the act to become the focus.
That's true.
You don't want to lose that personal connection.
That's very true.
And be keying away at the lock like an animal, unless you like that sort of thing.
Look, I think if you're having that much trouble getting your key into the lock, you should have a little torch on your key ring. I think that would help.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
They could be doing it in the dark. That's often the case. But also, if he's looking down from above at his own heart, where the keyhole is, that is awkward. That's a bit tricksy. It's a bit upside down. But there's no answers to be found in the music video for this song, which seems to tell a completely different story. In the video, Madonna plays an exotic dancer in a burlesque-style peep show theatre. And there's a little boy of about 12 who is trying to get in to see the show, but the old guy in the box office won't sell him a ticket. Then we cut to inside and we see Madonna doing a bit of burlesque dancing and minor stripping while singing the song that has its own separate story. And then at the end of her dancing shift, dawn is breaking and she finds the little boy outside asleep while waiting for her by the box office. She kisses the boy full on the lips, and then they skip out together. The old guy in the box office, who must have seen this, runs out after them. We can't hear what he says, but he's presumably accusing Madonna of being a pedophile. And then some Italian subtitles appear, and he's saying, "Come back, Madonna. We still need you. Need you to wait for the police and child services, presumably."
There's some weird stuff in that video. I noticed. So all the men are in little individual rooms. I suppose
Yes.
they're like private
Peep show type booths.
Private masturbation rooms. Some of them are taking notes. Some of them are
Yes.
just kind of ogling her. But there's a sequence where the boy outside is basically feeling up a poster of Madonna. Where are his parents? He was out all night.
Yes. He's just a runaway urchin like Madonna herself.
Yeah, he's quite well dressed though, and weirdly she seems to dress like him when she comes out at the end. They're both sort of wearing a suit and a hat.
Yeah, maybe she's recognizing the boy as like her younger self, and it doesn't matter that he's a boy because they're both looking pretty androgynous by then. Now that she's got her clothes back on.
Yeah, she's removed the pointy boobs.
I'll give you love if you turn the key.
The only real connection I could see between the video and the song is that she's, I guess by dancing, she's just trying to attract the attention of a bunch of males. But I don't know why the boy's there, that's all.
Like she's trying to attract their attention and then get them to open their hearts to her? I don't think that's what most strippers would do.
I guess she trying to make them love her in a way. I don't know.
I guess.
Yeah, it's a tenuous connection.
Actually, that does remind me, I did try and find a link between them, and there are other definitions for the idiom that is open your heart. Merriam-Webster, the dictionary people, they note that open your heart can mean to be kind and generous, as in to open your heart and help the poor. So, well, it's like a nicer euphemism for open your wallet. But it does provide a link between the song and the stripper video, because, you know, if she's saying in the song, open your heart and pay me for sex, perhaps, if both the video and the song is about sex workers. The song does begin with Madge seeing this guy on the street as he walks on by. So she could be standing on her corner looking for business, you know, as a prostitute.
So you choose to love the other way. Well, I've got something to say.
And he just looks the other way. Well, she's got something to say, and that's probably, "Oi, don't go thinking you're better than me, love. You couldn't afford me. You're probably a pillow-biting, shirt-lifting woofter anyway, and I'll scratch your eyes out," etc., etc. Like that, so...
Yeah. Well, that's true. Although that definition also makes her sound like a mugger. She's going to run after him and get him to open his wallet.
Yeah, well, that's another way to go. But certainly streetwalkers, in the prostitution sense, will be looking and touting for people to open their wallets, as it were.
That's true.
Yeah, she could have gone for mugging, but I guess she's just playing to her strengths. That's probably, you know, could have been a future thing to sort of subvert the male power by doing a song about female muggers, but she didn't quite get there, did she? I'm afraid.
No.
Open your heart, I'll make you love me.
As a public service for our listeners, I did do some research on how to make people love you. I thought that would be of interest to our listeners. And by research, I mean Googling.
Sure.
And I found several websites and quite a lot of YouTube videos devoted to the topic of how to make a man love you, offering between 4 and 23 tips on how to make a man fall in love with you.
You're going to get some strange Google ads after this.
Oh, yeah. Well, I followed up on a few links, so that's probably true. So, yes. So between 4 and 23 tips. So that seems to me that making a man fall in love with you is either fairly straightforward or very complex and requires a variably specific number of techniques.
Do you think the 4 tips, it could be like a 4-step process, or it's either that or a 23-step process?
Well, I am quite a busy man, and I imagine our listeners are also quite busy people, so I didn't go through the 23-step process, but I did skim through the video that offered a 4-step process.
A video?
It was a video, yes.
Wow.
A video by a man who is apparently a psychologist. So firstly, he's a man, so I'm hoping that he actually knows, you know, what men want. He claims to be a psychologist and a relationship coach. Hopefully, based on that, he knows what he's talking about.
Sure.
I didn't get to find exactly what his qualifications were, but he does have quite a lot of ebooks for sale on his website at heavily reduced prices. So I guess he's offering value for money.
He's published.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. Well, let's say he's self-published.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be.
But according to this, it is science, and as you know, I like science.
Sure.
So I'm going to read from my notes here to make sure I get this right. So his 4 tips are focused on 9 of the 12 precursors to falling in love that have been studied for 30 years and are triggered by the 5 tips he promised to share. I don't know where he got 5 from, but anyway.
These have been studied in pigs or something, or actually in humans?
I believe it's guinea pigs and flies. So, yes, we have 12 precursors to falling in love, but he's only telling us about 9 of them and is not going to include the 3 precursors that are to do with the man's readiness to fall in love or whether he is actually attracted to you. So, first up, if you're not attractive, it's no good. Just as a side point, I did start to follow up on another video, and I went through quite a lot of this a video on another website before realizing this was just a promo video that wanted you to subscribe to something. But this was another one that offered even average-looking women the chance to get men. So I guess there's hope for anybody, as long as you're average or above.
Yeah, it's all about confidence or something, probably. But you'll get to that.
I will. All right, tip 1. Don't be afraid to disagree with him.
Ooh, controversial.
So I took, based on that, fighting is sexy.
Fighting is sexy.
Yep.
Yes.
So in the case of this song, I think Madonna and the man are disagreeing on whether or not they're in love.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So they're off to a good start.
Yeah, fighting.
Yep. 2, be a person he can trust.
Mm-hmm.
I found that a bit boring.
Not very sexy.
Not very sexy. He might not want to go out with you, but he'll probably ask you to look after his cat.
Yes, trust is 2 ways.
Yes. Step 3, exude confidence.
There you go.
Yeah, I think that's one of Madonna's strengths, so she's good there.
Yep.
4, keep your standards high, which I interpret to mean no ugly blokes with no money.
Right. Or keep the standard of behaviour that you're willing to accept from them high, maybe.
Possibly.
And get into more fights as a result. That'll cement things.
Yeah, well, that's true. So it's a circular process.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess as long as you can cycle through the 4, they will keep being more and more in love with you.
Okay, so that's the 4-tip version. And was the lengthier one by the same person? No, that was a separate one.
No, there were many websites. Yeah, I'm afraid I didn't go through all 23 steps of that one.
I'm sure this guy's got it. He's got the 4 main ones, and the other dozen or so are probably just going to be variations on those.
I think so.
It's just padding, probably. Yeah.
But I think number 1, as long as you violently disagree with them about everything, they're going to love you.
What did this guy have on the cover of his books? Is it a picture of him with a woman on his arm, or several women, or it would be a picture of a woman with several men on her arm?
Well, I don't even really know if he has an actual woman of his own. He seems to be focused more on getting women for other people.
Oh, so selfless of him.
Yeah.
Well, I hope he's making some money out of this in some way.
Yes, well, it kind of reminded me a reverse version of, Tom Cruise's character from Magnolia.
I was thinking about that when you started going into this, yes.
Yeah, well, I found another link between this song and Magnolia as well.
I think I know what it is. Can I guess?
Sure.
One is a lonely number?
It is, which I initially thought was a tribute to Johnny Farnham because he had a hit with that song.
Yes.
But yes.
Johnny Farnham, for our international listeners, is a long-standing figure in Australian music of some 50, 60 years or something.
Something like that.
No wonder he's still alive.
Yeah.
But of course, Amy Mann was the artist that did a rendition of it in Magnolia.
Yes, indeed. And it did, I guess maybe this goes back a little bit to the Cyndi Lauper song as well. Made me think about how differently we would look at this song if it was sung by a man. And I guess you talked about this before. How acceptable would it be for a man to sing about following a woman around, chasing her and forcing her to love him?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it doesn't really seem right for either sex to do it now, but as I was saying before, women have to be just as bad at men before, just to even things up, before we can then just all be nice to each other.
That's right, and we respect them all the more for it.
Yeah.
But now back to my research. I got bored with that, and I kept scrolling down my Google search, and I found a website offering a real, genuine spellcasting service that works, covering all your spellcasting and magical needs.
Well, this is a bit beyond science now, but...
Well, yes. But, okay, firstly, it had lots of exclamation marks, but it also spelt magic with a K. And I think that's crucial because you know that it's using real and powerful ancient magics.
Because that's an ancient spelling, or it's just spelt that way so he can trademark it.
Don't know.
Okay.
Yes, but you can order a binding love spell that promises that this black magic ritual is 100% safe for you. Fear not.
Fear not.
Fear not. It doesn't say anything about whether it's safe for the person you're casting it on, though.
So there's it's black magic. That doesn't necessarily mean it's about winning a black man. It's just there's black magic and then there's white magic, is there?
I think that's right, yes. Yeah, and magic with a K, which is the good stuff.
Right. It's the old school stuff. Ye olde.
Yeah.
Very good.
I was hoping to take this a little bit further and actually get a spell and try it out on you to see if I could make you fall in love with me, but everything's behind a paywall, so that was disappointing.
You probably need things like rat's ears and bat's noses.
That's true, yeah. I can probably source all of that stuff around here.
Yeah, you've got some nature around you.
Yeah. The other disappointing thing about the website was that there was this disclaimer.
Oh.
The witching services, herbal, spells, rituals, and techniques listed on this site are for information purposes only.
Oh.
You may not get the intended results of any witching, herbal, spell, ritual, or technique on this site.
Well, yeah, it would be hard for them to guarantee because, you, unless you're there to see how the spell has been cast and whether all the boxes have been ticked, you can't really...
Exactly.
You can't really expect to hold them to that.
So I guess it's not completely evidence-based. But I did think of a connection with the song, though, between what I saw on this website. So there's a couple of lines in the song about you choose to look the other way, and I
Think that you're afraid to look in my eyes.
think you're afraid to look in my eyes. So
yeah.
I'm wondering whether she's either planning to hypnotize him, look into my eyes, not around the eyes, look into my eyes, or, use some kind of supernatural powers to lure him in.
Maybe he's actually a baboon, and baboons don't like to make eye contact unless they're being very, very aggressive. So if the guy she's in love with is actually a baboon, that makes complete sense. It's not going to work, and she shouldn't take that as any kind of rejection. That's just a baboon doing his best not to tear your face off by misconstruing your eye contact.
That's true. Is it baboons or macaques that have the colourful bums?
Oh, I reckon it's probably both.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure baboons have a pretty colourful arse.
Well, that being the case, she probably doesn't want him to look at her eyes anyway. It's probably, look at my pink and blue bum.
Look at my arse.
Yeah.
Amongst other definitions for the idiom open your heart, open your heart can also mean to confide in someone, to tell them your most guilty secrets that you keep locked up in your heart. So another theory there, Madonna might be begging this guy in the song to confess to something horrible that he's done, promising to still give love and forgiveness. Maybe like the plot of the movie Dead Man Walking, if you imagine Madonna in the Susan Sarandon role as a nun who is trying to get Sean Penn to confess to his murders before his death sentence so that he can receive the love and forgiveness of Jesus that will get him into heaven. Don't tell me you haven't seen Dead Man Walking.
I have seen Dead Man Walking. I was just thinking that I guess prefigures Madonna's slightly later Like a Prayer phase, where she pretty much became a sort of sexy nun.
Oh, right. Gosh, I had forgotten that. And there's some sexy nun outfits with pointy wimples or whatever. I forget what a wimple is. Is that the thing on your head?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're often pointy.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, I'll have to. I'm sure this won't be our only visit to Madonna World. Yeah, so maybe we'll get to cover that at a later stage. Yeah, you brought up. One is such a lonely number. That suddenly appears in the lyrics. Seems a bit strange for Madge to go suddenly into mathematics. Or is it a coincidence that the number one looks a bit like a key? Yes, that is a coincidence. I think it's got nothing to do with anything.
Or indeed a penis.
Or a penis. Yes, it depends on the font, I suppose, whether it's serifed or... Yeah. But maybe Madge just likes talking numbers. Madonna has actually ruined many interviews by insisting on reciting pi to at least 100 decimal places. It's kind of a party trick thing she does. She's basically a mathlete show-off type of person. And that's what ultimately ruined her marriage to Sean Penn, I believe. That and she wouldn't shut up about Star Trek, of which she's a big fan. She just kept reading him her fan fiction until he walked out. He was probably more of a Star Wars fan.
Yeah, but I believe this song was originally sung in Klingon.
It wouldn't surprise me. Yeah. I think she's performed initially. It helps her find her center if she performs any new demo in Klingon, and that just really it inspires her. Yeah.
And
But
sorry to interrupt, but I've just thought of a connection between Madonna and Amy Mann.
Okay, Madonna and Amy Mann. Excellent.
Madonna,
yes,
married to Sean Penn. Sean Penn, brother of Michael Penn. Michael Penn, married to Amy Mann. Boom.
Is that right?
Yep.
Well, it's less than 6 degrees of separation.
I know.
Chris Penn died quite young. You just say Christopher Penn. How many brothers has Sean Penn got?
I don't know. He must have at least 2 because she's married to Michael Penn, who was also
Michael Penn was the composer of everything in Magnolia, I think.
Was he? I know he's worked with Paul Thomas Anderson. He had like a few kind of hit records in the 90s-ish.
Yeah, no, he was the composer, and he also played the guy at in Boogie Nights. He played the guy at the music studio where the 2 guys were trying to record their pop hit, You've Got the Touch. Yes, he played the studio executive who wasn't going to give them the tapes until he got money from them. Yes.
Well, there you go. They're all connected. It's one big universe.
All connected by One Is Such a Lonely Number.
Yep. Which is ironic because it's connecting loads of people, so they're not lonely at all.
But yes, so I brought up Star Trek before, and that's just made me think about. I'm tempted to digress and bring up the report from some years back about the Canadian authorities who were studying convicted pedophiles. Another link to this, to the music video of this song. Yes, they were trying to find commonalities that they could use to form a profile to trace these offenders. And one of the only things that linked a huge number of pedophiles was that they were big fans of Star Trek. So I'm tempted to bring that up, but I won't. In case any of our listeners, if you are a Star Trek fan, please take a good hard look at yourself in the mirror and check yourself before you wreck yourself. That's all I'll say. But anyway, 1 is a lonely number because it only goes into itself once. It can even square root itself. So it's both lock and key. But it is just playing with itself. No other number wants to go into 1. Maybe because out of 10, he's probably a 1. And he's always had this reputation as a lonely number. And there is this air of desperation about 1 because it will literally go into anything. It's disgusting. Even those repulsive prime numbers that others won't go near. So it's been difficult for 1 to find other partners to multiply with. He's always been a bit of an odd number, but there are lots of odd numbers that do quite well. 69. But when other numbers try to settle down with 1 and start a family, as soon as they start trying to multiply, they quickly find that nothing new, nothing extra comes out of multiplying with 1. It's very sad.
I have nothing to say.
Nothing to say to them.
No, it's fine. The only thing I have left to say is about puppies.
About puppies?
Puppies.
How does that come into anything?
I think there could be an alternative interpretation to the whole song that's just way more, well, both more palatable but also much sadder. And I'm just wondering, think about this. What if the song is sung from the point of view of a lost puppy?
Oh my God.
Yep. I see you on the street and you walk on by, you make me want to hang my head down and cry. So think about a puppy on the I know. Think about a puppy on the street. People walking past, going about the business, ignoring the poor lost puppy.
Tilting its head in that weird way that
Yep.
dogs do when they're trying to understand.
Whimpering slightly.
Oh.
I think that you're afraid to look in my eyes. Now, if you've ever looked into the eyes of a sad puppy, you will know that they're hard to resist. So these hard-hearted people avoiding eye contact with this poor puppy.
Don't want to get sucked in. Don't want to have to take it home.
Yeah.
Follow you around, but you can't see.
I follow you around, but you can't see. That's what puppies do.
Because he's so small, short.
Yep. Yep. Don't try and run. I can keep up with you. Puppies love to run.
They love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a game.
It's a sad song about lost puppies.
Oh my gosh.
Think of that.
Open your heart and, take me home. Yeah.
Yep.
That would have been a lovely music video.
I think it would be fairly easy to modify. You could have everything the same, except just replace the small boy with a puppy.
Yes, that's one way around it. Or have a puppy stripping inside while other people look on. A little puppy in a bustier.
Oh, how cute.
And that about wraps up our first visit to Madonna World. I'd like to close by saying, I like Madonna. I want to do it with Madonna. She's what a woman's supposed to be. Madonna, won't you do it with me? I'm pretty sure she won't. But that's a nod to Australian band, The Androids. Do you remember that song, Dave?
Not at all.
They had in 2002, I think it was, they had a big song called
I'd rather do it with Madonna.
I Want to Do It With Madonna, which it goes through and it compares the sexiness of the new young things at the time, Pink and Britney, and also our Kylie, but finds that they are but shadows compared to Madonna, who they want to do it with. And apparently Madonna quite liked the song. It was quite a catchy tune. I suggest everyone look it up.
Is there a similar one for Cyndi Lauper? Or, I'm just trying to stoke the fires here of their rivalry.
That's right. No,
Oh.
I'm pretty sure there's not. Yeah, that's not fair. Maybe I'll pretend to be Cyndi Lauper and I'll write them a note admonishing them, and maybe that'll get back to Madonna and it'll really kick things off.
Yeah, good.
Well, I've got something to say.
My sponsor this week is the makers of extra strength insect repellent.
Oh,
Yeah, we have a leech problem in this part of the world with all the rain.
yes.
I've had to exit work-based video calls a couple of times because of leeches on my body.
Oh wow! And they can actually an insect repellent will get them off, will it? I would have thought you need something stronger, like salt.
Oh, salt's great; they explode. But you've got to use the extra strong stuff with something called DEET in it. We hit a new low a couple of weeks ago where a leech found its way into our bed.
Oh God!
I mean, I think it found its way because it was on me, and I didn't check myself before I got into bed, and then I bled all over the bed. It was awful.
You didn't check yourself before you leached yourself.
That's right.
As for me, I'd like to thank Smooth FM, of course. They keep giving, and I'd also like to thank Mitsubishi. They make my current little car as well as my last slightly bigger car. But my newer one, in addition to a speed gauge, has a fuel efficiency gauge. And that's made me a much better driver, as I previously used to watch the speedometer constantly and be obsessed with getting places quickly, and that was my benchmark for a good drive. But now I can see how much petrol I'm wasting doing that, and I can instead aim at getting an average score of 4.5 litres per 100 kilometres in fuel efficiency. And for our American friends, that's 1.2 gallons per 62 miles. Certainly saves money, especially in these trying times, and makes for a much safer game of things. And the gamification of everything is quite a big thing for me. So thanks, guys. Yeah.
You know what you should be doing?
What's that?
Looking at the road.
Oh, the road. Yes. Well, yeah. Occasionally, I'll look up at the road. Sure.
Your car isn't one of those ones that turns itself off at red lights, is it?
No, it doesn't. But it is a manual, and I do like to put it in neutral and just coast down hills, and watch my little efficiency score go down and down. And I think the best I've ever done is a score of I think it was 3 litres per 100 kilometres, which I was very excited about.
And do you take your feet off the pedals and put your hands in the air as well?
Does that help anything?
No, I just figured you'd just surrendering control entirely.
Oh, no. This is all about a very specific kind of control.
Oh, okay.
I'm a much safer. When I was more of a speedy driver, I almost got to a point where one more point and I would have lost my license. Got sent a warning letter. But no, this new focus, this new game scoring focus for me has been better for all concerned, I think. Even random people out on the road who don't know that I would have killed them. So that's good.
Well, thank you, Mitsubishi.
Yes. And have a smooth FM week, everyone. Or month, whenever we do our next one. Probably month. But it feels like that's too long to say see you next month. So I like to pretend this is a weekly, like the Women's Weekly, which is monthly. Or I don't even know if it's still going, the Women's Weekly.
I don't know.
Lyrics of the Lost.